Coming up on 5 Minute News. Oath Keepers founder sentenced to 18 years for seditious conspiracy. Russia deploys tactical nuclear weapons in Belarus. And Elon Musk's Neuralink gets FDA approval for brain implant study in humans. It's Friday, May 26. I'm Anthony Davis. Stuart Rhodes, the Oath Keepers extremist group founder, was sentenced on Thursday to 18 years in prison for orchestrating a weeks-long plot that culminated in his followers attacking the U.S. Capitol in a bid to keep President Joe Biden out of the White House after winning the 2020 election. 58-year-old Rhodes is the first person convicted of seditious conspiracy in the January 6 attack to receive his punishment, and his sentence is the longest handed down so far in the hundreds of Capitol riot cases. It's another milestone for the Justice Department's sprawling January 6 investigation, which has led to seditious conspiracy convictions against the top leaders of the two far-right extremist groups authorities say came to Washington prepared to fight to keep President Donald Trump in power at all costs. In a first for a January 6 case, the judge agreed with the Justice Department that Rhodes' actions should be punished as terrorism, which increases the recommended sentence under federal guidelines. That decision could foreshadow lengthy sentences down the road for other far-right extremists, including Proud Boys leader Enrique Tarrio, who have also been convicted of the rarely used charge. Before announcing Rhodes' sentence, U.S. District Judge Amit Mehta described a defiant Rhodes as a continued threat to the United States and democracy. The judge expressed fear that what happened on January 6 could be repeated, saying Americans will now hold our collective breaths every time an election is approaching. Russia moved ahead on Thursday with a plan to deploy tactical nuclear weapons in Belarus, whose leader said the warheads were already on the move, in the Kremlin's first deployment of such bombs outside Russia since the 1991 fall of the Soviet Union. The U.S. State Department denounced the deployment plan, but said Washington had no intention of altering its position on strategic nuclear weapons, or had seen any signs Russia was preparing to use a nuclear weapon. Russian President Vladimir Putin said the United States and its allies are fighting an expanding proxy war against Russia after the Kremlin chief sent troops into Ukraine 15 months ago. The plan for the nuclear deployment was announced by Putin in an interview with state television on March 25th. Belarus President Alexander Lukashenko said that tactical nuclear weapons were already on the move in accordance with an order signed by Putin, though there was no confirmation of that from the Kremlin itself. In Washington, State Department spokesman Matthew Miller described the plans as the latest example of irresponsible behavior that we have seen from Russia since its full-scale invasion of Ukraine over a year ago. Putin has repeatedly warned that Russia, which has more nuclear weapons than any other country, will use all means to defend itself, and he has cast the Ukraine war as a battle for the survival of Russia against an aggressive West. The United States and its allies say they want Ukraine to defeat Russian forces on the battlefield, but deny they want to destroy Russia and deny that the Ukraine war is in any way linked to post-Soviet enlargement of NATO. Elon Musk's brain implant company Neuralink said on Thursday it had received the U.S. Food and Drug Administration's approval to launch its first in-human clinical study. On at least 4 occasions since 2019, Musk has predicted that his medical device company would soon start human trials of a brain implant to treat intractable conditions such as paralysis and blindness. Yet the company, founded in 2016, did not seek permission from the FDA until early last year. The FDA approval comes as U.S. lawmakers urged regulators earlier this month to investigate whether the makeup of a panel overseeing animal testing at Neuralink contributed to botched and rushed experiments. Neuralink has already been the subject of federal probes. In a tweet on Thursday, Neuralink said that the company is not yet open for a clinical trial. This is the result of incredible work by the Neuralink team in close collaboration with the FDA and represents an important first step that will one day allow our technology to help many people, the tweet said. Neuralink is developing a brain implant it hopes will help paralyzed people walk again and cure other neurological ailments. Please help to keep this podcast going by supporting our Patreon from just $5 a month at patreon.com/5minutenews.